Welcome to another episode on the Narcissistic Fog Kills. This is part two of the it's probably going to be a 2 or 3 part series talking about the narcissists I've dated in the past before I got married to my narcissistic husband. Where I left off with was, hopefully that was not a gunshot, but you never know around here. It's pretty dangerous here. So, if you'd like to donate, please go to my Google Pay so I can get the frig out of here. I'm working on it. But anyway, that's another story. What I wanted to say is to continue this. It just seemed like I was dating a series of the same type of person, only in a different body. So what I'm saying is it doesn't matter if you're female or male. You could be narcissistic. You can have those tendencies, those traits, that personality disorder. If you go to a psychologist and have that diagnosed, they'll diagnose it as NPD, which is narcissistic personality disorder. Anybody can find out about this information. It's online, it's in books. And if you're dealing with someone who's narcissistic, I suggest that you avail yourself of these resources because otherwise you're just going to keep going and you're going to feel like you're going crazy, but you're not. The person is trying to drive you crazy. So I'm going to start up where I left off on the first part of this 2-part video, where I was talking about a man that I met in basic training, and when I left basic training, I was discharged. I was given a general discharge. And that's a whole nother story in itself that I could talk about in another video. But yeah, when I got discharged and I got my own apartment and I was in a relationship with a woman, that guy that was interested in me in the military called me, like I said at the end of the first part, I guess. And I told him I can't do that. I'm in a relationship. I mean, although as tempting as that sounds to go travel to another country, because I've never been to another country, I can't do that. I can't just step out on somebody that I'm dating and just leave them behind. So after that phone call, he did sound very disappointed, but, it is what it is. I'm not like that. I realized that I don't even really know the person I'm dating at the time, that my girlfriend. She was very mysterious, and I didn't know for a while, as I said on part 1, that she was doing crystal meth. I had no idea. I didn't. She was very sly about it, and she finally told me about it a few weeks after we were dating, and I said, well, anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole thing about talking about that, but she did end up emptying out my bank account where I had to find a way to pay rent, and by miracle, this really kind guy that I work with, Ukrainian guy, he's really sweet. He just gave me a whole bunch of money, so I was able to pay my rent. And I told him I wanted to pay him back. He did not want to be paid back. So that was an angel in disguise. So, I was able to keep my apartment. And so, I decided I just need to, not have anything to do with her because when she left, she was gone for a bit, and then she called. I guess she got another girlfriend, and the girlfriend calls me up and says she doesn't like you. You're a bitch. You're nasty. You're ugly, and all this kind of stuff. And I was just listening to all that, and I'm like, I don't want any parts of this. This is very dramatic and stupid, and I don't have time for this shit. So then I just whatever, you think I'm I really don't care what you think of me or what you said about me. I really don't care. You can have her. Because she made me feel scared. I would write poems and stuff like that. And once I wrote a poem for her, and she's like, oh, wow, well, recite it to me. And I said, well, I can't recite it. I just wrote it. And she's, well, so you're so passionate and you feel this way about me, but you can't memorize what you wrote, a poem you wrote for me? I'm dyslexic, okay? So even when I write my own stuff, I read it over and over again because my memory isn't like most people's memory. Let's just put it that way. And for me, even if it's something I've written, I read it over and over again before I can really memorize it. So yeah, she was just very unstable. And when I look back on it, very narcissistic, wanted things her way or no way at all. You know, when I first met her, she saw me hauling my laundry over to the laundromat that was nearby. And she says, "Hey, why don't you because we were working at the same job at the time. She says, why don't you let me go with you or take you over to my sister's house and you can just wash and dry your clothes there. And then you don't have to pay any money." And I'm like, "No thanks, I'll just do it over at the laundromat." Because I don't know this person. But then she started feeling all down and pouty, looking all sad and stuff. And I fell for it. I fell for that pouty, sad face. And so I'm like, okay. And then all through the relationship, it didn't last that long. Um, I was feeling like I'm doing something wrong all the time, but I wasn't. It was the other person uh, just not happy with themselves, but trying to bring me down. I noticed that. And yeah, you can look back at somebody's past and well, that's why they did that because when they were a kid, their mom didn't appreciate, her mom didn't like her. Her mom criticized her and everything was very mean to her. Because her mom wanted her to be something that she wasn't. Her mom wanted her to be straight. Her mom didn't want her to be a lesbian, but she was a lesbian. So, so I'll carry on with part 3. That'll be the last part I do about the people I dated that when I look back on it, I discovered they are actually narcissistic people. Uh, I'm sure they won't get, well, the girlfriend that I had, she passed away a long time ago, and I saw her in a dream, so. But yeah, a lot of these people that have these traits will not go out and seek help. A lot of them, I'm not saying all, but a lot of them won't. So, join me in part 2, or actually part 3, because this is part 2, where I talk more about the past relationships I've had that I suspect that were with narcissistic individuals. Thanks for joining me. If you'd like to donate, you can go to my Google Pay. It'll be in the description below. And if you want to email me and just commiserate about the narcissistic person or persons in your life, feel free to email me, and that'll be in the description below. So, brightest blessings to you all, and I will see you in part 3.